Good evening, everybody out there. My name is Mr. Hendrickson. Welcome to Garage Math. It might look like I'm decorating my set, but I'm not. But I did happen to have these in my garage. I went to Green Acres today, my happiest place on earth. Disneyland's cool, but it ain't no Green Acres. Green Acres. So I kind of have a fence line on the other side of my house that I'm sort of redoing. We have a dwarf laurel, which actually gets pretty big for a dwarf. Never planted a bamboo before, so they had a big selection of bamboo. I think it looks just really cool. That's a sweet olive shrub. That's really what it's called. Sweet olive. It's not like a typical olive bush or tree that have the silver leaves. This guy looks pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and put them around the side of the house. It's basically the family room. There's a window, and then there's a fence, which I have some stuff already, and then there's the neighbor. It's nice to be inside the house and to look through these windows and not see a fence in a house. So we're gonna try to get some cool shrubbage going on over there. I already have some over there, but everything's already done, so I'm just kind of redoing some things. And anywho, working on my golf swing as well. We already went through adding and subtracting, negative, positive integers. Today's going to be quick. There's sort of a myth out there that multiplying and dividing is more difficult than adding and subtracting. Not when it comes to negative numbers, if you already know your timetables, that is, because the rules are much simpler. We don't need bobbleheads, unfortunately. I just actually put them away. So hopefully I can use them again for another time. I want all of you to copy this down. Just, again, multiplying, dividing, negative, positive numbers. I want you to copy this down, and then I'm going to explain to you what it is. So hit pause and go, okay? So really, this works for multiplying and dividing, and there's some pretty simple rules right here. When you're multiplying or dividing two numbers that have the same sign, the answer is going to be positive. If you're multiplying or dividing two numbers that have different signs, the answer is going to be negative. What's the trick? There is no trick. That's it. Wow, you did say it was easier. And up here, same sign positive, different sign negative. So that's it. So I have a few little funsies we're gonna do. I have some on the back, throw in some exponents just for a little review as well. To combine a couple lessons, and that's going to be it. Then we're going to get to unit rate and ratios, which are really, really key for this level of math. So those are going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to it. Now, as we have said in previous videos, or maybe I've said it, we no longer use the x for multiplying. Have a moment of silence. It's over. We don't use the x anymore. 2 times negative 3. Different signs. The answer is negative 6. Okay? I put a dot there. I like parentheses. Parentheses makes it much easier, much cleaner. If you have two numbers touching in a parentheses, it means multiply. But I did put the dot. It's kind of weird, dot, negative, but it's okay. Negative 2 times negative 3. Same sign, answer is positive. Division, 14 divided by negative 7. Ooh, 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 positive, ooh, negative, ooh, it's negative, okay? Negative 2. That looked kind of weird, but that's negative 25 divided by negative 5. It's the same sign. Negative divided by negative is a positive, okay? So those are the rules for multiplying and dividing negative. Way easier than adding and subtracting, okay? So if you haven't had a chance, copy this down, hit pause, okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to test your knowledge. You could just kind of watch the show. This is only going to take maybe another minute. I might break my record for shortest video ever. But don't worry. I'll have lots to say in the future. Just copy these down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't copy that. Just copy these 5 problems down. I always like it when students know what they don't know. So just write these down and then use your brain, put an answer, and then I'm going to tell you what I think the answer is, and then we can have a conversation about it. Not really. And then you'll know if you got it right or not. Okay, so again, negative 2 cubed. It just means negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. Obviously, you have to put the parentheses, otherwise it would have looked like -2 minus 2 minus 2. Okay, I like to go one at a time. -2 times -2 is 4, positive 4. 4 times -2 is -8, okay? You're gonna kind of see a pattern that you're gonna need to know for these, okay? Because when you have 3 negatives multiplying by each other, it's always gonna be negative. If you have 5, it's always gonna be negative. If you have 13, it's always gonna be negative. How does he know that? We'll talk about it in a second. This one's a little different. If the negative sign is not in the parentheses, you just basically do 2 cubed, and then you just stick that negative sign with the answer. So we already know 2 cubed is 8. 2 cubed is 8. Because that dude is on no parentheses, he just comes along for the ride. That could be to the 4th, to the, it's just this guy, this answer is always gonna be negative, okay? All right, same with this problem. Not same with that problem. Make sure you understand it's not 8. You don't multiply those two. -4 times -4 is positive 16, okay? Now, these ones you should be able to do in your head without going -1 times -1 times -1 times -1 times -1. I kind of got it started down here, and I'm only going to do these just to give you kind of the pattern. When you multiply -1 times -1, you get positive. You multiply by -1, you get negative. -1, positive. It just alternates. So here's the rule. I want you to say the rule. I'm going to start it, and then you're going to say it out loud. And I want you to yell it, okay? I want you to wake up the neighbors. When you multiply 2 negatives together, the answer is always going to be positive. When you multiply an even amount of negatives, the answer is always going to be positive. Well, wait a second. If that's true, that means if you multiply an odd amount, the answer is always going to be negative. If you multiply 3 of these, it's going to be negative. 4th makes it positive. 5th makes it negative. 6th makes it positive. 7th makes it negative. On and on and on. So we just know that's going to be -1 and that's going to be +1. Okay? Just a fun little trick. And that's it. That's quick. It's almost 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day to anybody out there who has served in the military. Right on. The Kings play at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock against the Nikolai Jokic. Jokic is in town tonight. I could have got some tickets. People aren't really going to Kings games right now. But I didn't because it's way past my bedtime. So that's it. It's good to see everybody out there. I am going to start posting and talking about unit rates and ratios starting tomorrow. So log in, keep up, and keep making good decisions, world. And I will check you guys out next time. Peace!